Hey there guys, and in this video I finally have the pleasure to show off the karak Wraith. Now, for a while, before like when I first started playing this game, I had the karak and I really liked it, and I really wanted to have the karak Wraith because it was basically just a complete upgrade when compared to the karak, and there was literally no negatives for getting the karak Wraith, and I literally had every single piece except for the receiver for ages, and I finally sold some. I finally bought off someone for like I think it was like 15 platinum, and I finally made it, and it was disappointment. Like it wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be, and it's still pretty good. It can get you through most of the content, but it isn't amazing. I've used it in a sortie. The first sortie I think it's like level 50 to 60, and it does kill them pretty quickly. And it is pretty good. It is a pretty good weapon, but again, it's not as good as it can be. Like it's not. It used to be a lot. Apparently, I've seen videos of people using it kind of stuff, and I saw people using it before. It can be better. It used to be better. Now because of the new update, it's not really as good as it used to be. And there's heaps of other weapons you should use. So, again, this build video isn't you know I'm making it so if you're a low level player, you have the Karak Wrath, and you do like it, and you want to make a build for it, I'll give you a build. This is kind of just an edited one, and yeah, so I've just done that, and also it didn't help after I bought the Karak receiver that it went literally the next day. What was it? What do you call them? Invasion. The next invasion. I think it was on Sedna. Literally had the Karak receiver as one of the Grenier offering, so that kind of annoyed me. So I don't know. You get. I don't know. If I waited, I could have gotten it instead of paying like 15 plat. So yeah. So here's the build right here. So again, I haven't formed it yet, but I can make it better. I could probably, if I did form it, I think I have to form it twice, and I could put faster hands in, which increases the reload. The reload isn't really the best. It's doable. It's all fine. Like again, it has like a mag of 60, so it doesn't really matter. So it's not as needed for the as the karak is, but if you like this and you want to make it better, you can form it, and you can put the faster hands on, which is pretty much which is the only thing you can really improve on this. You could switch out these out with like better ones as well if you so wanted to, or if sorry, I was wrong. If you do want to, you could also probably, instead of using fast hands, you could probably get the what's it? No, this basically the basically the I don't know what it's called, but basically it's a mod where it has infested clip, and it increases the infested toxic damage and also status chance. So basically this version of infested clip, and you can probably put that in if you so want to. I'd probably prefer to put faster hands on, but if you do have that, you can switch that if you so want to. So look, let's have a look at this. So let's actually look at the stats of this. So as you can see, has a pretty high crit chance. Again, not as good as most weapons, but again, it's still pretty good. You still want to be aiming for head. Again, this gun doesn't really have that many bullets, so and it's more of a heavy gun, so you don't really get to see as much as like other weapons like Baser and that kind of stuff. So 12 is pretty good. You do a lot of crit damage, especially with this mod here with Argon scope. It increases it exponentially. Like you like I especially in you see in the sorties, because it does take a bit to kill the enemies. Again, like 5 shots or 6 shots, but you can see when you're shooting them, you can see the health. You take off like a little bit of health, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until they're basically dead, and it takes like big chunks. So when you first, so if you don't if you don't have this mod, um the Argon, I mean the Karak Wrath, not going to be the best. It's a very important mod to have with the Karak Wrath. So if you don't have it, well, that's a problem, because the only way you could have got it was by basically killing the acolytes, but they've been gone for about 3 weeks. So you're out of luck, and the only way you can get it now is by buying it off someone in trade, or one of your if you're in a clan, one of your clanmates lending it, like giving it to you. But that's most likely not going to happen. So I have fun trying to get it. So, and again, I would highly recommend, because any build that has focus on crit, and it's any primary build that's focused on crit, you're gonna need Argon Scope. So you're gonna need it eventually. So you're gonna need it, but again, it's gonna be hard to get it. So I don't know. You do what you want. So yeah. So again, not really the doesn't look that good, but it adds a pretty good crit chance. And then got crit multiplier, also pretty high. That's pretty high. Most weapons, I think. Let's see. My point. I like to compare my weapons with any like critical weapons with my Baser because my Baser is just so good. Alright, so it's a little high in Baser, but again, Baser kind of needs that its bullets are very weak. Like because you know you fire it's an SMG, so its bullets are very weak. So you know it's gonna look higher than the karak, but the karak is still does punch pretty hard. So yeah. We have you know Pretus and Fire again. It's a punchy weapon. It's not that fast. It's probably I'd say I want to see what the speed for it is for the competitor. I'm pretty sure it's the same as the Breton. So I'll have a look at Breton Prime. That's the only purpose here. So fire rate. Oh, it's actually faster than the Breton. That makes sense. The Breton is pretty slow. So it's faster than the Breton, but not as fast as like weapons like I don't think it's as fast as the Terra. Yeah, same fire rate. Same. Oh yeah, but the Terra I have a mod that increases fire rate. So it's faster than the Terra normally. So yeah. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty fast with fire rate. You know, medium speed. You know, it's pretty fast, but again, but it's not extremely fast. But so you can actually, because you know, as you can see, if you can see, accuracy not the best. You know, 28. So it's not so fast that you're just gonna go straight up, and it's not so slow that like it's just unbearable to use. It's kind of like it's in the middle for its you know accuracy. It's more of a meaty firing weapon, which makes sense. It's from the Grenier. Like you know they're gonna have very meaty firing weapons. They're gonna the very sloppy, as you would say, sloppy. It's a very sloppy firing weapon. Now the basically the huge improvement over the Karak Wrath. Mag is 60. Now you could I haven't made this build yet, but you could make a build where you make the mag size to like 100 or something, and you could hypothetically do that. You could put blast on because if you're a low level player like I am also I forgot to mention that if you're a newer player, I'm sorry, it's so late. I do this all the time. I kind of forgot. I apologize. I haven't really done these as well. So if you're like this build is made for newer players. If you're an older player, I would recommend it's leaving now because again as you can see it's not really made for you. So if you're a newer player, I watch this. Or you can probably, as you can see, this is made for newer players. So yeah, it's aimed for newer players. As I am a newer player, so I have a pretty good perspective of like how to build stuff for newer players. So yeah. So you can probably do it with Wildfire if you so want to. Any mods like Wildfire where it increases where it has element damage increases mag size. I'm pretty sure there's other mods like that. I'm not 100% sure about that. And you can probably put that and increases status chance. What you could do is make this a status weapon and take out all these critical mods, which I don't really recommend because critical mods are pretty good. But you could make this a status weapon. Again, I wouldn't do that. This weapon is really good for status. It's more of a crit weapon. But if you so want to, you can make this a status weapon and have it like the mag size is like 100 or something. I'll try that out and I'll put that build out like maybe later or something. But what you could do is probably put Wildfire on any like increasing mods, any mods like that. If you get a mod that has cold and also increases the mag size, I'd also put the one to make blast. And you can probably make it so that it has corrosive and blast in it because those are two pretty good elements, secondary elements. And you can probably put on your obviously mag warp. You want to increase the mag size. Actually, I want to see how much mag warp increases. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put both Wildfire and here. Okay, with these two mods, if you have these two mods, you can get about to 90, so that's pretty good. Okay, so let's put you guys back on. Where do I put this one? There you go, high voltage. Oh, this way. There you go. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so you can probably do that if you so wanted. Again, I don't really agree with that. I kind of this build. Crit build for the karak, especially the Karak Wrath. I would do that if I was you. If that's probably the best. Noise obviously alarming. It's a Grenier weapon. They're not really known for their sneakiness. Status. It's pretty good status. Again, it's it looks high, but I'm pretty sure the Baser has a high the Baser is a short one, but the crit the crit stat you proc its status so much on the Baser, but this you don't really proc status that much. Again, I'm pretty sure you do proc status regularly. Like when I was doing the sortie, pretty much every single time I was killing an enemy, corrosive would always proc them at least once. So it does. So if you're doing like high level missions, you are gonna proc on each enemy. So Like saying if you're going into saying if again if you have like these versions of these mods, you probably go into what do you call it? You can get, like you're saying if you because it's already right now it's corpus, you can probably go in with magnetic damage if you so want to, and then switch these around to make it magnetic damage if you so want to, as I said, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So you could do that. You know, you can kill the corpus a lot quicker if you want to, for that kind of stuff. So yeah, as you can see, these have been increased. You know, corrosive damage pretty high. This is a pretty high corrosive damage, especially for auto rifles. So again, this is because you know I have two of these. You know, two just elemental mods on, and I also have high voltage to increase it, and then I think no, yeah, that's pretty much it. And incineration also doubling. I'm pretty sure. If it takes incineration off, yeah, 72. So yeah, so it's pretty much increasing it again. I know we don't talk about incineration. It's just a good mod to have in all of them, so you increase damage. Don't need to talk about that. So I'm just gonna get that out of the way now. So yeah, so that's that's all the base stats for this build right now. Now, yeah, so let's actually look at the mods I have on. So I've talked about these three here, these three mods that they make corrosive. These two, you don't really need Stormbridge. If you just have these two, it's pretty good. And again, you don't really, you could basically switch this out with the infested version. It doesn't matter. And as I said before, you could probably put if you have the electric one and the infested one of these, you can put that on there if you former this, because you will have to former it if you want to put that in. You could do that if you want, but again, I would prefer to put faster hands on. One, because actually no, it's the same. Never mind. What am I saying? Yeah, it's the same. So yeah, one because you know reload speed is pretty low. You wanna increase your reload speed, and also the corrosive is already pretty high enough. You don't need to increase it. You don't need to increase it, and the status chance is already high enough. You don't really need to increase it. You can if you want, but you don't have to, in my opinion. So yeah. Then we also have this one. So this one right here. For this one, I have it for I have this one on. It's because this is a kind of a mix of a status build. The reason I have this on is for critical damage, but again, the increased status chance does help. I do like that. I do like the increased status chance. It is quite a lot. Not as high as this, but this is pretty important. And it's pretty weird how the was the blue status mode. I think yeah, it's 15% status chance, which is pretty much nothing when compared to this. This is like two times, like 2.5 times more than this. So I don't know. It's just kind of stupid how this is so low. Like it pretty much is useless. I never use this. Even in status weapons like Ignis, that kind of stuff, and other weapons like that. Like I don't even use it. I'm pretty sure. Guys, actually, I want to make sure if I don't have a look at my Ignis. Yeah, I don't even use it. My Ignis. Like this is my status weapon. I don't even use it. Like I don't use ripture attitude on it. Like it increases status chance, but yeah, I don't even use this on my status my status weapon, which is unusual. So yeah, where's the character? There we go. Okay, so let's have a look. So yeah, and now we have the these two mods here. So again, I talked about Argon Scope, extremely important for this weapon. Again, you could, as I said before, you could probably build a status one on here. Again, I wouldn't recommend that status one. Probably not as strong as this Argon Scope, and there's way better weapons. Like I said, Ignis before. Really good weapon if you want to get a status weapon. Again, karak is more made for crit builds. So extremely important mod. Again, most of my builds with that have crit on them, Argon Scope is on every single one of them. It is such a good mod. It literally more than doubles, you know, your critical damage. It's just amazing. It's just a good mod overall. I would get it. I would spend like it's the one mod. This and Maiming Strike is the one mod you need to spend platinum on if you don't have it. But again, I haven't seen it when I've been looking at trade. I haven't seen it pop up. I haven't seen the prices for it yet. But I know Maiming Strike. It's pretty much the Argon Scope of melee weapons. And that's selling for 400 platinum, so you're probably not going to get it for a cheap price. So you're probably gonna get it like, I don't know, pretty high platinum like prices. So yeah. Then we have Point Strike, amazing mod, pretty good. Again, critical build increases critical chance by 150. Very important. You need to take it off. Critical chance pretty much sucks. Yeah. So and you know, if you have any more critical chance mods, you could probably switch these out, because again, these do increase damage pretty high. But if you have like critical chance mods, you can probably switch them out. I don't know how many there are. Again, I'm pretty new to the game, so I don't really know every single mod. That's why. Why do you think I'm making builds for newer players? Because I'm a newer player. I gotta make them for these kind of people. So yeah, probably put a slash one if you want. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. Again, pretty basic. You know, it's a pretty basic build, but you know, again, it's for newer players. Newer players are gonna have pretty basic mods, so they can't really make pretty confusing builds. So yeah, this is my build for the Karak Wraith. It is a good weapon. I've heard people say it's MR fodder. For higher level play, it is such. I can see why people say it's MR fodder, but I like it. I like it for just using in general. It's a pretty fun weapon. If you're like around mastering 10, 11, 12, and you have it, or you have it like even before that, it's a pretty good weapon. It can get you through most. Like I've only used it on the beginning sortie, so I don't know if it's that viable, but it's still pretty good. It can kill pretty much most levels. So I would get it. You know, it's not a point, but you know, you don't have to get it if you don't want to. And yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. Okay, see ya.